Hello Petersham kids, welcome to Kids Connect. We are so excited that you are able to join us today for Kids Connect. Petersham Kids is an amazing kids program filled with lots of fun and amazing God moments. I can't wait for you to see what we have planned for you today, so let's jump into it.
Hi Petersham kids, we're excited that you're with us this week. Why don't you stand to your feet as we sing a song of praise.
This is living now. This is living now. You lead the way that you're right beside me. In your love I'm complete, freedom's untainted with you. Life you created, I choose. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. This is living now. This is living now. Your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. This is living now. This is living now. Take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me so. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more.
Hi Petersham kids, I'm Raphael. I'm super excited today because we are going to be looking at Healthy Head, Healthy Heart Part 4. Let's jump straight into it.
Hey Petersham kids, guess what? Today I have something really cool to show you. Who knows what this is? Yes, you're right, it's an egg. Now with this egg, if I bang it on my bowl, what do you think will happen? Correct. I can hear you say it, well done. So if I crack it, can you see that things just came out? Oh. See, this shows us that eggs are very fragile. If you bang it or something, it will break and the egg yolk and the egg white will squeeze out. So they're very, very fragile, so you must be careful when you're handling them. Boys and girls, I have a problem today though. as you can see, I have my trophy up there. And I can't reach it. I really need to get it. And the only way I can get the trophy is... Can you see what I have on the floor? I have 24 eggs. 24 eggs. Remember how I broke one before? That showed us how fragile and how careful we have to be. But I have 24 eggs on the floor. My problem, boys and girls, is I need to step on the eggs to get my trophy. Do you think I can do it? See, right now, boys and girls, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I feel a bit overwhelmed. I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to step on the eggs, get my trophy and be okay? Do you know what, boys and girls? I am just going to put my hope that everything will be fine. I'm going to hope that when I step on the eggs, I'm not going to break any. None of them will go everywhere, and that I can finally get my trophy. All right, feeling a bit worried, but you know what? I'm going to put my hope in this. Let me try. Boys and girls, I am standing on the eggs and I can't hear any of it crack. Can you see? I'm standing on so many eggs. We saw how fragile it is. Now let me see if I can get the trophy. I got it. This is amazing, boys and girls. Can you see how I was so nervous? I was so worried, but I put my hope knowing that I can do it. And do you know why I had hope that I know that I can stand on the eggs? It's because I've done this before. It's because I've learnt about this trick before. And in the same way, boys and girls, today I want you to know that you can put your trust in Jesus, that He can be your hope. And when you're going through things that might seem a bit tricky and you might be nervous or worried and you know the eggs might crack or whatever's before you, you just feel so overwhelmed. I want you to know that you have Jesus and that He is your hope. No matter what, whatever situation, you can hope in Him. And this brings us to our memory verse. I wait for the Lord, my whole being waits, and in His word I put my hope. It's found in Psalms 130 verse 5. Isn't that amazing? See, the Bible teaches us that we can put our hope in Him. So whatever you're going through, remember to put your hope in Jesus. And if you have a look, none of the eggs have cracked. I'm still standing on it, and I've been talking for a long time. Make sure you do try this at home and get a parent to help you.
Did you like that trick that Hazel just did? I love that trick that Hazel just did. Now we've got our Bible story. Let's jump straight in.
God's promises. God spoke to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward. Abram protested, Sovereign Lord, you have not given me any children, and the person who will inherit all I have is my servant Eliezer of Damascus. Eliezer will not inherit, but a son of yours will, God replied. God took Abram out to look at the night sky. Look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, your offspring will be as numerous as the stars. Abram believed what God told him. God declared, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land. As for me, this will be my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram, your name will be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. Abraham and his wife Sarai became older and older without having a family of their own. The son God promised did not arrive, and Sarai became too old to have children. God had promised Abraham and his wife Sarah that they would have a son, and their descendants would become a great nation as numerous as the stars. The problem was that both were now too old to have children. Abraham had become so desperate to have an heir that he had a son, Ishmael, by Sarah's servant Hagar. God promised that Ishmael's descendants would become a large nation too. When God said Abraham would have a son by Sarah, Abraham laughed to himself as he was so old. When Sarah overheard 3 visitors sent from God say that in a year's time she would have the son God had promised, she too laughed in disbelief. It was impossible for them to have children now. Yet the Lord was kind to Sarah and kept his promise. The next year, miraculously, Abraham and Sarah had a son. Abraham, who was now 100 years old, gave his newborn son the name Isaac. Isaac, which means he laughs. Abraham lovingly watched his son grow from being a baby into a young boy.
Wow, what an amazing Bible story that we just heard. Today, I want to encourage you with 2 points. And the first point is that Jesus is our hope. What an amazing experiment that we saw Hazel do when she stood on the eggs. And she had the hope that if she stood on the eggs that they wouldn't crack so that she can get the trophy. But in the same way, we can put our hope in Jesus, that there are things that he's called us to in life, and we can get them if we just have hope in him. And point number 2 is that God always keeps his promises. In the story of Genesis 15, we saw God make a promise to Abraham that one day he will have a son. And that was a really hard promise for Abraham to believe because they were at a really old age, and it's really hard to have children at that age. But God is faithful, and in the end, Abraham had a son and named him Isaac. And I want to encourage you today that God always keeps his promises. And there's so many promises in the Bible that he makes for us. He says that he will never leave us or forsake us. And he also says that he'll be there every step of the way.
Thank you, Petersham Kids, for joining us today for Kids Connect. Now, parents, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, Kids Connect. And if you want to see what the rest of the church is up to, please subscribe to Petersham Online. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Have a great day.